Hi there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Ethereum. So Ethereum, since the past 3 to 4 weeks, it has already confirmed it's fallen outside of the upward channel, this blue box over here, that started since March this year. And over the course of the past 3 weeks, it has been trading above the key level, purple key level of $4,000. However, this week, it has entered into a different trading area. So let's dive into both the weekly and daily charts and see what's happening with Ethereum and what are the potential next stages. If you're new to my sessions, these are the takeaways you can expect. Basically, I will talk about the current and coming Wyckoff stages, key price levels that Ethereum would find support or resistance, plus any breakout timing that the charts or price actions are showing us. So in the weekly chart, previously we talked about this line, this white line over here, saying the price may come down to the purple and rebound and continue some sort of sideways movement. However, we can see it's indeed it happened in a similar sense, but then the bounce wasn't like lasting for too long. In the daily chart, we can see there was bouncing. We can come to that later, but then eventually currently is staying below the purple key level of $4,000, heading towards the sign of weakness area that previously I shared. There's a 60% chance, like a high percentage, that it happens towards the downside. While it may challenge the upside, the probability is towards the south. And this last point of supply, I would say, for both scenarios, it's pretty much confirmed. So I left a lot of question marks over there because I can see there are potentially two different scenarios. So the first scenario, the blue tags, are the one that when this cycle first started, I put in these stages saying, okay, this may be a short buying climax period where there was only one automatic, there was no second test after the automatic reaction. It bounced straight to the upthrust, and then eventually we've got the second test after the upthrust, and eventually the LPSY that we have just seen 2 weeks ago. So if I change it to the line chart, you clearly see these peaks, right? And then what's going on now? If it really comes down to the sign of weakness, one potential is for it to really hit the blue key level of 3,540. That's what happened back in August when the automatic reaction happened over there. And then it may bounce a little, and then eventually it may come down to challenge the light blue key level. So that, when it bounces, will form another LPSY. So for the weekly time frame, there is time for the price actions to develop. When we get to the daily chart, we'll see a different picture. Hey, Trader P0, you're welcome. Thanks for your support. And so here, going back to the Bollinger Band and Kona squeeze now, we have touched on the Wyckoff stages. So there is currently no squeeze happening because the close to squeeze period has led to these big swings already. So previously, the technical definition of the squeeze with these shades at the back was around summer 2023, and then it led to bigger waves, and eventually even bigger waves that when we enter November, end of November, and this year. So this isn't over yet. So when the price really swing down, well, if I say it's going to challenge the red key level of 1,950, people would say I'm crazy, but you know, it happened just April this year. So be prepared for the worst case scenario if it really comes down. But then, as you see this rainbow colors, there are a lot of key levels. There are many bounces that can happen. So here you see it bounced from the light blue and then took a pause somewhere around the green and the yellow, and then eventually it comes down. So there are stages instead of like a sharp one candle drop. Obviously it can happen in such a way because of certain major announcement from, I don't know, key figures from big countries. And okay, now we know the big picture. We know the big picture and the stages in the weekly. Let's go to the daily. So that's where I was talking about in the beginning. When we talked about this in the last session, we said, okay, now the price has fallen, has got to a breakout time point, like somewhere around October 12th. It will either go above breaking this downward trend, so this downward trending box, this blue box over here, or it's going to come down to challenge the bottom edge, or at least the purple key level of $4,000. It did break out, and then obviously it came to the downside even before the Friday event. So this white line that I have drawn, I said it's going to bounce. It bounced, but it bounced from the bottom edge of the downward trending box, not from the purple key level. So the purple key level proved to provide little support in that particular scenario. I know it's an outlier event, but it really so strong that it breaks both levels. This yellow dashed line is extended from the upthrust of the distribution in the daily chart, and then also the purple key level obviously is one that's from the buying climaxes of the previous cycles. So it's time to remove these white lines since it has already happened, just the point of bounce is different. So now the price over the past few days, it passes through the center line of this downward trend box just one day, and then the next day immediately it returned to the lower half of the box to trade. And again, the purple key level seems to have lost its supporting power because the price just stayed around that area for one day, and then again the yellow support line, the price stayed there above it for one day, and now basically today and yesterday have been trading below this line. Both days have attempted to stay above this yellow intermediate support level, because that's where the sign of weakness was, and also the upwards of the distribution was. As of now, you see this long wick at the top. Basically, the bears have been selling hard at that point, pushing the price back to this level. This line is not newly drawn. You've seen this for a couple of sessions already, and it's interesting to see, right? When the price really got pressure around those lines. It's like magic, but it's not. It's more about people's psychology. Okay, so future stages in terms of the daily Wyckoff. I see if we follow this yellow text, this one has been confirmed. We've got a mini one over there as well. So if it bounces up and treat the purple line as nothing, or this time it may become the resistance actually, so there may be another MPSY, just a tiny little peak after these big peaks. So it may happen in such a way, and then eventually comes down to a deeper level of sign of weakness. However, this one breaking through here is not as simple as it seems, because you see the bounce just on like the 11th, when the big announcement happened about the tariff, right? So one day after that, basically. So if there's nothing as crazy as that happening, this channel box still has its effect on the price movements. So essentially it may take time lingering around this bottom edge and eventually challenge the blue key level of 3,540. Yeah, over here. So the sign of weakness may happen over there, and this sign of weakness isn't what I'm trying to say here is a very key point. Let's put it this way. I don't want to use too dramatic words, because after this level, you see what happened over here. It's almost like a single leg upwards without any like retracement in the middle. That's the more worrying scenario, because if the price really comes below the blue key level, that's how far it can go, like about 300 points. Let's draw. I want to copy this line. Actually, there is an intermediate support over there. That's where I have drawn this SOW. So I'm not randomly dragging this towards here. It's basically, I was looking to the left as well when I drag the SOW. So we can draw a line to as early as here, November 2024. Or you can draw it even further. But you see a lot of candlesticks, either the bottom or the top. They were basically finding support. The prices were basically finding support or resistance around this intermediate level. The reason I haven't drawn this as a key, because in the weekly time frame it's not as prominent as the other two, so that's why it doesn't appear as a key level. But then if the price really comes down, depending on the timing, it may naturally happen if the price continues to trade along this, breaking the blue key level. It will eventually reach this intermediate level. But as of now, let's treat it as if it would happen sometime, reaching the sign of weakness sometime near the end of November. Yeah, hopefully no crazy event or crazy announcement is going to come out within this month. From now till like near the end of November, then it can naturally happen towards this area. Let's extend it all the way to the same length as the key levels. I want to move the text. So let's move it here, because the box, the downward channel, will naturally head towards this level as well. So I am not including the outlier events. I'm just including what's happening kind of naturally. Okay, so the trend remains pretty much the same. As long as this downward channel isn't broken, that's the trajectory or the price actions are going to move along. To break above this, to break outside of this box, well, in candlestick pattern analysis, it looks like a bull flag, right? Meaning the price will break towards the upside. There needs to be very good news, as far as we all know, like given the current sentiment, and it's just not something easy. So again, let's hope for like no drastic movements, but like natural die down, like what happened just the beginning of this year. Ethereum has enjoyed a pretty good period, and so if you're trying to catch the dip, be careful. The adjustments can get bigger and bigger, because like I already mentioned, this gap over here is pretty huge. So if it swings down, it can go really towards a level that's unimaginable for a lot of people, but the chance is there. Remember this.